Hello everyone, I'm here to spill the tea on the Mystical Medleys deck. This is the fourth video in my series now. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Debbie and I am from Spill the Tea Leaf Readings and more. If you'd like a reading with this deck or another, or a tea leaf reading, you can comment below, message me, or send me an email at info@spillthetealeaf.com. So let's get started looking at this deck. So the Mystical Medleys deck is a lot of fun. The artwork is inspired by cartoons of the 1930s, and it does feature a Betty Boop lookalike. And for any super Disney fans who know about Oswald, there is a card that has a character that looks like a cross between Oswald and Mickey Mouse, which I just find is funny. So, this deck is really a love letter to those cartoons and has some fun Easter eggs for people who are familiar with those cartoons. I'm not super familiar with them. I know Betty Boop, I know Popeye, I know Steamboat Willie, the first Mickey Mouse cartoon. I don't really know a lot, although I did recently have the opportunity to watch some cartoons from this era, and I was like, oh my god, it's like my tarot deck! So that was fun. So as usual, I'm going to start with the box. It comes in a really nice, hard box. And you can see Gary Hale's name is right on there. And I'll talk a little bit about how he ended up creating this deck when we get to a very specific card. That's the box. And it opens up on the bottom and reveals, another box. And then normally in this box, you'd find the deck and the wonderful guidebook, which is bound in hardcover, and we'll definitely get into that later. But that's the box, and so now let's look at the cards. I'll start with the major arcana and just go through those and show you. As you can see, this is very inspired by the Rider-Waite Coleman art, but it has fun twists, which I really enjoy. And the animation, and I say that not meaning the cartoons, but like the facial expressions, and like they're just very alive and animated that way, which is suitable because this deck is based on animation. But the animation of this deck really brings other factors to it. I mean, you can see, like, this isn't the greatest example, but the rams on the throne have personality to them. You know, the buildings all have personality. The pillars have personality. The castles have personality. That's kind of like Betty Boop right there. It's just really adorable. And it's also kid-friendly. There's no nudity. So if that's important to anyone, that's good to know. She's kind of like Betty Boop too. Just with red hair. And there aren't any characters that are actual characters. Like, you're not going to actually see Betty Boop in here, but you're going to see characters that look like Betty Boop, but it's not her, for obvious copyright reasons, I'd imagine. I love the tree in this card. I was just looking at this the other day and just thinking, for the Hanged Man, how cool it is. Like, he's, getting a new perspective, and this tree has a face, and maybe he's communing with the tree while he's doing this. I don't know, I just thought it added a cool twist to the card. This one looks like Elton John with the glasses. All right, so the Devil card is really important in this deck. This is the card that started it all. And again, that character's kind of like a redheaded Betty Boop. Gary Hale, if I remember the story correctly, and this is in the guidebook, so you can read all about this yourself, but he drew this first and posted it on Facebook or something like that, and everyone was like, oh my god, where can I buy the deck? This is amazing. And it wasn't something he did with the plan in mind to create the whole deck, but the response to this card was such that he was like, maybe I should make a whole deck. So this card, which I think is really fun and probably one of my favorites in the deck, if not my favorite, really shows the inspiration behind the whole deck as well. So it's good to pause and look at that. I mean, look at the tower. Look how the tower has a whole personality, I think that's the thing about this deck that's really cool. It's not just the people who have personality. Everything has personality. All right, so that's Major Arcana. This deck also comes with 2 exclusive cards that I guess I would say are part of Major Arcana because they don't fit into a suit unless you created a 2-card suit of squirrels. So you have Happy Squirrel and Sad Squirrel. They're cute. They haven't come up in a reading yet, so I haven't had the opportunity to use them, but they're there. And they're separate, but they're part of the deck, so that's fine. It's always fun to get exclusive cards. All right, so Ace of Wands. I'll just quickly go through these and you can get a glimpse at what the rest of these cards look like. And I know I referenced the card that was a cross between Oswald and Mickey Mouse. I never remember which card it is, or if you've already seen it, I haven't been paying attention, but if at some point I'm going through all these cards and I'm like, oh, this is the card, I'll stop and point it out. But I may have already missed it, in which case maybe you caught it. Those are the wands. Cups. So I find this deck it's easy to read if you're familiar with the traditional, Rider-Waite-Coleman imagery. But it has, obviously, as I've been saying, more personality. And so it's very intuitive. Sometimes it trips you up because it's not quite what you imagine, because adding personality to something, I mean, like the fact that this knight is like having tea on his horse kind of it's not what you expect. It's different, but it adds something new to the meaning in a way without taking away the meaning. So it's intuitive, but it does give you pause and cause you to think a little bit more about what you're seeing, which is fun. And I did do a deck interview with this one, and what I came up with was that this deck it's fun. You're not meant to take it seriously. Here are the pentacles. But it can teach you something. It can help you with your intuition, or at least it can help me with my intuition. It doesn't do all the work for me, but it does help me. And so as long as I don't take it too seriously, I'll learn a lot from the deck, which I think looking at the artwork makes perfect sense, right? I mean, you can't really take it too seriously, but you can definitely use it seriously. Just don't get too caught up in it. All right, so last suit, swords. I love that it's not just a heart with swords in it. Like, he's already healing and making his way towards the next thing. What a great positive message. Yeah. I love this one too. He's such a cutie. He reminds me of the glowworms of my childhood. I don't know if anyone else knows what a glowworm is, but I don't know, that's what he reminds me of. So those are the cards. And I did go through them kind of quickly, in part because I realized shorter videos are better. After last week's short video, I was like, oh man, why can't they all be short? So this is the guidebook. This might be the thing that makes the video go long. I apologize. It's a really nice book. And if you watch my videos, you do know how I love a good guidebook. It has a table of contents. It tells you all about the creation of the deck and about Gary Hale. It talks about the major arcana before getting into it. There's pictures. Trying to get to the end of the major arcana so you can see the exclusive cards. So it has whole pages on those. Then talks about the minor arcana. And the pictures aren't pictures of the card. There are some pictures of the cards, but it basically just has a couple pages for each suit. So save some room that way. And then it has, how to read the tarot. And then it has tarot spreads, original ones. It has a 1-card one. It has 3-card ones. I like that it's in theme, lights, camera, action. That's fun. A spirit scale. And then it ends, you know, with a nice little picture before being done. So I like the original spreads. I like that maybe not all of them are in the theme, but enough of them are. It's just a really nice deck. It's, because of the way it's packaged, I would say it's a good collector's deck, but it is one you can use. In terms of the cards and shuffling and things like that, they're nice thick cards. Trying to bend it, but I don't know how well you can see. There we go. But they are bendable. What I find is that, and this is a problem with a lot of collector's decks, I don't know, if you can't fan them out easily, like they feel like they stick together a little bit, and I have to really, like, I can't just fan them, you know, because they stick together. I don't like that. And when the whole deck is together, it is hard to shuffle the whole deck, so I find that sometimes I have to break it up or shuffle differently. And again, I'm one of those people that likes to do the bridge, like poker shuffle. So it's not the easiest deck to shuffle, but it is shuffleable, especially if you're willing to like break it up into 2 sections and like shuffle those and do like one shuffle, and then maybe put them all together, and then you're saving yourself some trouble. But I like this deck. It's a good one for kids. It's a good one if you don't want to use Rider-Waite, but you want something that's easy to access in terms of symbolism and traditionalism and all of that. So I definitely recommend this one. I definitely use it. And I'm definitely, after the deck interview I did in preparation for this video, I'm looking forward to using it more. I have so many tarot decks that, you know, I'll use one and be like, oh, I'm going to use this all the time. And then I go back to a deck I've used before more, or I get a new deck and that holds my interest. And so I feel like this deck has kind of been put on the back burner, and I'm looking forward to it not being on the back burner anymore. So we'll see what happens. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Again, if you would like a reading from me with this deck or another, let me know. You can comment below, you can message me, or you can email me at info@spillthetealeaf.com. And either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!